Welcome to the Air Force Association's virtual Air, Space, and Cyber Conference Daily Highlight Report, brought to you by Lockheed Martin. I'm Tobias Nageli, Editor-in-Chief at our Air Force Magazine.
And I'm Amy McCullough, News Editor at Air Force Magazine.
Air Force Secretary Barbara Barrett unveiled a new identifier for Air Force programs, and Chief of Staff General C.Q. Brown defined how he will lead the Air Force to accelerate change in the opening day of the premier professional event for the Air Force and Space Force.
President Donald Trump paid tribute to airmen in an opening statement this morning.
So I just want to thank you for everything you've done. I know you work very well. I know how talented all of the people are, and your pilots are the best in the world, and now you have the best equipment in the world.
Secretary Barrett followed with a wide-ranging keynote focusing on advances in the air and space forces. USAF has been innovating from its inception, she said, from the X-plane that broke the sound barrier to the unmanned X-37B, which recently won the Collier Trophy for pushing the boundaries of flight and space exploration during its record-breaking 780 days on orbit.
Secretary Barrett also unveiled a new designator for air and spacecraft, the lowercase letter E, to identify systems designed and developed with digital engineering.
Digital engineering enables companies to design, build, and test aircraft, satellites, or weapon systems completely online. Imagine iterating thousands of potential designs, developing composite materials without mixing chemicals, testing with countless sets of conditions in air or space, and delivering the product for manufacturing as a digital file no larger than an email attachment. Digital engineering's benefits do not end there. By lowering development costs, barriers to entry are reduced. By establishing digital prototyping, problems are identified and solved quickly, and timetables are collapsed. By reducing R&D infrastructure, nimble startups spanning all industries can contribute to national defense.
Secretary Barrett highlighted the essential value of allies and partners in great power competition, citing the Department of the Air Force's new Arctic strategy, which was developed in partnership with allies, and the innovation of airmen in tackling emerging challenges, including the COVID-19 pandemic.
General C.Q. Brown defined the ABCs of accelerate, change, or lose. His top priority as Chief of Staff. A stands for airmen, B for bureaucracy, C for competition, and D for design implementation. Brown said you can't change without taking risks. Let's go to the videotape.
I don't plan to manage change. I plan to lead change. And by leading change, we're going to have to take some risk. I'm going to have to take some risk. And as we take that risk, it needs to be measured and informed. And I hope that you'll come with me as we make some of these risk decisions. We need to make these risk decisions and lead change so that we can compete at the right place, at the right time, with the right capability.
Brown's theme can be summed up in his own words. I want to go fast. Increased speed will empower airmen to take calculated risks and make timely decisions, not just waiting for directions. The aim is to get inside the adversary's decision cycle and make them react to us rather than the other way around. The bottom line, it's time to stop talking and start doing. Let's hear what General Brown has to say.
We can't predict the future. We can shape it, just like the Avengers. You know, as the Avengers in the Endgame, just before parting ways to retrieve the Infinity Stone, Captain America said, we need to get this right. We may only have one shot, no do-overs. For our United States Air Force, we need to get this right. We may only have one shot, no do-overs. Accelerate change or lose.
The Secretary's and Chief's full remarks will be available on conference website soon. There also are numerous on-demand sessions available now. Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness Matt Donovan said in his session that if the Defense Department wants to recruit innovative young Americans, it must change the way it approaches talent management. This means being more flexible and allowing troops to move between military components and in and out of the civilian sector throughout their careers.
The Air Force also has to make investment money available to startups and small companies. Speaking during another panel discussion, USAF's top acquisition official, Lieutenant General Duke Richardson, said if we invest in 100 companies, we're happy if we have one or two that end up succeeding, and we fully expect that 90+% will probably go to zero, which is okay if you get a multi-billion-dollar return from your one winner. Finding that right company, he said, may take a field of dreams approach, but if you build the right infrastructure, new entrants will come to space.
A Mitchell Institute segment weighs the value of measuring the cost of delivering military effects against traditional measures, such as cost per flying hour. Former Air Force Acquisition Chief Bill LaPlante said it's time to stop focusing so much on platforms. Let's hear from him now.
In fact, we get overly consumed at times in the system by focusing on those individual elements on the actual aircraft, for example, and not seeing the effect. And when you look at the effect, it gives you a very different view on what are the key capabilities. It is something we know how to do, and we know how to manage it. We have done it before.
Tune in tomorrow for another jam-packed day where we'll hear from Chief of Space Operations General Jay Raymond, his senior enlisted advisor, Chief Master Sergeant Roger Toberman, and United States Air Force Acquisition Chief Will Roper. Thank you for watching. Let's turn this over to the Air Force Band and the Thunderbirds to close out the program.